Hello, everyone. My name is Jenny, and I am on the hCG diet round 2. And I am coming to you with my update today on day 5 on the diet. Here's the good news. Let's start with the good news. The good news is it's another day of weight loss. Yay, Jenny. Any other diet, seeing weight loss consistently every single day without like a couple days of plateau in there is great. Which is why on most diets they tell you do not weigh yourself every day. They say to only weigh yourself once a week because there is that kind of up and down, plateau, up, down, up, plateau kind of situation that happens. Overall, at the end of the week, you have a loss. But we're on hCG, right? We are not on every other diet, so we expect grand things. I lost, when I got on the scale this morning, it said I lost 0.3 pounds. I was hoping for minus 1.3. Just because that's kind of how it was last time, but I started off heavier last time, so I should not compare this time to last time. Last time was just a month ago as well, so I didn't have a long period of time in between, so there's reasons to justify me not losing a pound plus for 5 consecutive days. I am down now on the diet 5 pounds from before I started at the very beginning. So I'm down 5 pounds in 7 days. Those are good numbers. Those are really, really good numbers. So I just wanted to talk a minute today about the fact that, look, I even threw some flowers up on my screen to just say, let's look on the bright side. Because when I got on the scale today, I wasn't feeling on the bright side. I looked at it and went, huh? What? What's it say? Nah, that's not right. My ultimate goal is to be, you know how I mentioned this before. We all kind of like live in the 180s, or we live in the 170s, or we live in the 130s, or we live in the 140s, or something like that for the majority of my life. I basically have the same temp for me. Now, some people, they don't really gain and lose significantly much. My weight journey, whether I'm dieting or not, is like this. So I basically live within a 10-pound range, at the upper end of that 10-pound range. And when I hit another category of numbers, when I go up another category of numbers, is when I start to go, oh, I need to start to think about dieting again and get back down. So my goal was to get into that next lower group of numbers. And it's still my goal, but I am now a little less than 5 pounds away from reaching those lower numbers. Yeah. So, well, no, I am 5 pounds away. I'm 5 pounds away because I have to be below 0. I have to be a 9. So I am a little over 5 pounds. This is that point where my body just struggles. It doesn't want to be in the next range of numbers. It's very happy. I lived a lot of my life kind of where I am right now, but I have to admit, in the past 10 years, I've lived a considerable portion of my life in the group above as well. So I really, to get down to this lower number is significant for me. And if I could live my life in that category of numbers, it would be great. So, I mean, I guess I could just say the numbers. No shame in that. I basically live my life in the 150s. I get up into the 160s and I go, I need to start dieting. If I start to get in the mid to upper part of the 160s, then I'm like, dang, I need to really take it down for my body composition and that. And there have been times I've seen the 170 on the scale and then went, whoa, red lights. All right, so I basically, as a post 3 children who are already in their teens woman, have lived the majority of my 30s and 40s, I would say, in the 150s. Again, kind of like occasionally hitting up into the 60s. And then sometimes going like a 6 month period of time, I'm very happily staying in the 160s and gradually going up there until I like realize I need to get back down again. In fact, I went a good few years in the 160s because I remember thinking, gosh, my life used to be happily in the mid 150s. A little bit up, a little bit down, a little bit up, a little bit down. And so I was really, really disappointed with myself. And I thought, well, they do say if you don't lose all the weight you want to lose before you hit your 40s, then you're not going to lose it. And I thought that that was just the 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 number that I was going to have to live with for the rest of my life until the very first time I did hCG. And then I got down. I literally got down into the 130s the first time I did this. I mean, 139. I may have even been, I think at one point it was like 137, but that was like right at the very end and then before going on P3 and I kind of bounced back up. And 130s is very thin for me. I'm very thin, but I mean, yeah, I look great. Don't get me wrong. But this is the weight I was like I mean, low 130s, but after I got married in my 20s, when I look at the pictures and see I was skinny in all those pictures. So, yeah, I mean, that was my kind of happy. I put on a little bit of weight because now I'm happily married, but still very skinny, not like skinny in the like upper 120s that I was when I first got married. So 140 seems like a good happy medium to me, but I really never saw 140s after I started having kids. I mean, there were times I was living in the upper 140s and there were times I was in the 150s. But then after all three, and then I started getting older, I really started kind of creeping up and realized that this is where I am. My understanding is that your body needs to reside at a certain weight and it gets used to being at that weight. So this is the problem with gradually eating more and more and more and letting your weight get up there, is that you get to a certain point and you stay there. Another part of fighting this is that we develop fat cells as we get larger. Now, we develop fat cells as we get larger. As we lose weight, those fat cells get smaller and they shrink, but they're still there. So your body no longer has to develop them. They just are ready to grow again. So it's harder for those of us who have gained weight over the years and gotten in the upper, I want to be in the 130s, great, but I was in the 170s for a while. So based on fat cells, I mean, I was close to 200 when I was pregnant with my kids, but a lot of that was water retention and baby and placenta and everything else that goes along with that. So that doesn't count. Pregnancies don't figure into this. Did I gain weight too? But I started in like the 130s, 140s. So the fact that anyway, it wasn't fat. Like, when you lose 25 pounds as soon as the baby's born and the baby's only 7, you know that, and boom, it instantly came off. There's a whole bunch of other stuff and a huge part of that is water retention for me in all of my pregnancies. I had a lot of edema and swelling. All right. But that being said, I now have additional fat cells because I have hit the 170s a couple times since, long since I've been pregnant with any of my kids. So those fat cells are now there. If I would have known this information back in my 20s, I would have been very, very more diligent, very, very conscious, is what I was going to say, about maintaining my weight and not letting myself get too far out of range. But now I have this information and I just have to deal with it. I know that those cells are there, and that means it's more of a struggle for me to stay below that amount. But that's separate from the hypothalamus and all of that. There's just this, the reason for P3 is to try to maintain so that your body and your brain starts to say, okay, this is the weight we're supposed to be. And it helps you maintain that. And it doesn't want you to instantly, it doesn't give you cravings, and it doesn't have you jump back up again. So that being said, the 140s are something that I have only seen when I've been on hCG. I don't even know if I've been in the 140s when I was on. I probably was. I was probably in the 140s when I was on Weight Watchers at one time. But then, boom, as soon as Weight Watchers ended, it all went away. So, yeah, they are only diet numbers. And I would like for my new goal in life to be to reside in the 140s. I mean, if it's 148, 149, I'm good with that. But I just feel lighter. I feel more energized. Things fit better. That is really my goal. So I'm 5 pounds away from that. I feel more than 5 pounds away from it. But that's partly because I had the ruptured appendix, and when I have like a 8-inch incision down my midline straight down, and it just messed with all of the muscles of my stomach area. Everything is just it's just bigger, and it doesn't look the same. Nothing in my midsection looks the same as it once did. So I feel like because of that, I feel bigger than what the scale is reflecting. So logically, I think, and I'm starting to do crunches and I'm starting to do some abdominal stuff to see if I can work with that and get it to ever go back. It doesn't seem possible because it's changed so significantly, but we'll see. But I may have to reside in the mid 140s to feel comfortable like tucking shirts in. That's where I want to be. Let's just face it. I want to live a life where I can put on a pair of jeans and wear my shirt tucked in and feel good about it. That's my ultimate goal. Because really, it's more about how I feel and look than what the actual number is on the scale. Honestly, don't in the end care about the number on the scale as much as I just worry about it now because I know right now the number on the scale does correlate to what I look like. I do exercise every day. I have every day on this diet, and I do every day when I'm off the diet. I mean, by exercise, I'm not doing any heavy weightlifting or anything like that, but I do work up a good cardio and I go on the treadmill for at least an hour every day. So I'm getting that in. I'm trying to keep my legs in shape by doing that. And I'm trying to do some crunches now to start to reshape my midsection if I can. So that's where I am. I'm going to stay encouraged because I still had a weight loss today. And I am 5 pounds away from where I want to live my life. Probably 10 pounds away from, as I said before, where I should be. So we'll see how that goes. All right, that's my update for today. Hopefully tomorrow there's a bigger number on the scale because each one's been going down, but this one jumped a whole pound. I went from minus 2.5 to minus 1.6 to minus 1.4 to minus 1.3 to minus 0.3. We'll see what happens. Okay. Bye, y'all.